Hello, Mr. Salogar here. I had a lot of questions about the correlation check for understanding. There was a lot of concern. Students were struggling with the diagrams and needed some help. So here we go. Let's have a look and see if we can help out. For questions 1 and 2, we had the same diagram with 3 outcrops. And the first one was asking which 2 fossils are the same age. And to resolve that one, we are going to go to pages 8 and 9 of the reference table. We're going to see that fossil letter B, Cryptolithus, showed up. In fossil letter D, Valacoceras, those two are both from the Ordovician time period. I want you to remember those two because we are going to see them again. Now, to resolve the question of what is missing at X, we need to do a correlation. What I noticed right away was that the sandstone layer with Bothriolipus, the kind of fish-looking fossil here, it is a placoderm, matches up. So I've got these 3 layers that are correlating. Certainly you could have started somewhere else. I noticed in green I have a siltstone that is correlating. I don't have the same fossil here. However, I can correlate that based on the sequence that I'm seeing where I have the limestone below here and I've got the limestone below here. Now in blue, I'm going to connect those 2 limestones. I'm going to correlate them. And then below that, I've got in yellow, or as my people would call it, the blue in the maze here. In yellow, we have the sandstone, which are going to correlate. So the question is, what is missing at X? We can now answer that. We look at outcrop 2, and we see that it goes yellow, blue, and green. Down below here on outcrop 2, we go from yellow and jump to green. That means that blue is missing at X. Therefore, it's the limestone with the Cryptolithus fossil that is missing. Notice the same fossils are showing up here. We want to know during which time period was A deposited. So we think back to when we looked at our reference table, that is Cryptolithus, and we know that's Ordovician. And that is going to help us with our next question, where we are going to try to put the relative ages of E, D, F, and G in order. And this can be really tricky when you're only asked to put a few of the specific letters in order. To do this, we're going to correlate A and H because both of those fossils we know are from the Ordovician time period and they have the same rock type. Next, I correlated the limestone in green, and then I highlighted the part in yellow, which is below the limestone, and I am ready to answer this question. So the first letter in my sequence that I have here would have to be the E towards the bottom. I notice that D is above E, so according to the law of superposition, D has to be younger than E, so there's where I'm going to put my number 2. Now I'm going to work my way up through the green and the red. I'm going to correlate over green, red, and then G is above the red, so there's my 3, and F is above G, so there is my 4. One thing I strongly suggest is that if you can put some color into the diagrams or make a sketch of it and then color, mark them up, that is really going to help you to correlate these. Number 5 was asking which layer is the youngest. To do that, we need to do another correlation. Some color is going to help. I noticed the siltstone at the top of outcrop 1 and the siltstone in the second layer of outcrop 2 are correlating. The yellow and the red correlate. And now I can clearly see that the sandstone at the top of outcrop 2 has to be the youngest, and the shale at the bottom of outcrop 1 has to be the oldest according to the law of superposition. Remember that this fault XY has to be younger than the layers it cuts through. That's the law of cross-cutting relationship. We can see that this side has moved down relative to this side. Okay, next, in our last question, we have a correlation with 4 outcrops, and we want to know which one is the youngest. Adding some color is going to help. Right away, I noticed the limestone, which I highlighted in red, is correlating in A, B, C, and D. It's missing at D, or sorry, at A, B, and C. It is not in D. And then I noticed the shale is going to correlate in A, B, and C as well. And then on top of the limestone, I have the sandstone, the green, and then the yellow, the dolostone match. Now I've got it narrowed down. This siltstone has to be the youngest layer. The oldest is down over here. I hope that helps you to better understand the questions in the correlation check for understanding.